Classic guns have a way of sticking around kind of like your grandpa's advice. Old school, no nonsense, and oddly more valuable as time goes on. In 2025, we're seeing something that's got both collectors and shooters buzzing louder than a steel plate on range day. Some of the most iconic firearms in history are making a serious comeback, and not just in dusty gun safes. We're talking million-dollar level attention, modern reissues, and skyrocketing demand that's breathing fresh life into old legends. This isn't just nostalgia, it's a full-blown resurgence. Gun companies are dusting off their blueprints and cranking out remakes that are so faithful. Even the ghosts of gunslingers are impressed. Whether it's cowboy classics or World War II war horses, these old-school pieces are back in the spotlight, and they're commanding respect and high price tags. So today, we're digging into the top 8 classic guns making a million-dollar comeback. The legends that not only defined their eras, but are suddenly more relevant and expensive than ever. If you love timeless design, real steel, and guns with stories to tell, this list's for you. There's something undeniably American about the Winchester Model 94. Maybe it's the lever-action clack that sounds like history cycling itself. Or maybe it's just the fact that for over a century, this rifle has been as common in deer camps as flannel and coffee. Introduced back in 1894, the Model 94 wasn't just a firearm, it became a rite of passage. Chambered in .30-30 Winchester, it earned a reputation as the go-to rifle for generations of hunters and ranchers who valued simplicity and reliability in equal measure. Fast forward to 2025, and the Model 94 is quietly enjoying a well-earned comeback. Winchester has brought it back with thoughtful updates that stay true to its roots without turning it into a museum piece. New production models sport steel receivers instead of the questionable alloys used during its less glamorous years. The checkered walnut stocks feel both familiar and refined, and the rifle now runs with noticeably improved reliability, thanks in part to better machining and tighter tolerances. On the technical side, you're looking at a 20-inch barrel, .30-30 chambering, a 7-round tubular magazine, and an overall weight just under 7 pounds. It's been drilled and tapped to accommodate optics, but purists will be happy to know that iron sights still come standard. The action feels smoother, and the improved finishes offer better corrosion resistance than some of the older versions that aged like bad leftovers. What makes the Model 94's return notable isn't just nostalgia, it's that it remains a genuinely practical, enjoyable rifle to shoot. It's the kind of gun that balances heritage with usability in a way few others manage. Whether it's heading into the woods or hanging over the fireplace, the 2025 Model 94 holds on to its legacy with just enough modern polish to keep it relevant. If you've seen an action movie from the 80s or spent any time in the U.S. military from the mid-1980s onward, the Beretta 92 FS should look instantly familiar. It's one of the most recognizable pistols in the world, known for its open slide design, full-size frame, and that unmistakable double-action trigger pull, adopted as the U.S. military's M9 in 1985. The 92 FS carried the sidearm torch through multiple conflicts and into countless holsters of law enforcement and civilian shooters alike. After a few quiet years, the 92 FS is stepping back into the spotlight in 2025 not with fireworks, but with subtle refinement. Beretta has released new versions featuring improved grip textures, corrosion-resistant finishes, and several new color schemes that range from classic to tactical. While its basic layout hasn't changed much, and that's a good thing, small ergonomic tweaks have made it more comfortable and adaptable for modern users, especially those using it for competition or home defense. The specs remain largely the same. Chambered in 9mm, the pistol offers a 15+1 capacity, DASA trigger, and a 4.9-inch barrel. Ambidextrous controls make it left-hand friendly, and the newer models now come with an accessory rail under the dust cover, something the early civilian versions lacked. The open slide design helps reduce the likelihood of jams, which is one of the reasons it's remained such a favorite in military and high round count environments. The 92 FS's return isn't about reinvention, it's about refinement. and relevance. In a world dominated by polymer-frame striker-fired pistols, the Beretta 92 FS remains a full-metal counterpoint, a pistol that feels solid in the hand and has a track record to match. It's not flashy, but it doesn't need to be. This is a classic that's not trying to relive its glory days, it just never really left. Few revolvers have a resume like the Smith & Wesson Model 10. This 6-shot .38 Special has served in 2 world wars, ridden on the hips of countless police officers, and continues to be one of the most recognized wheel guns ever made. Introduced in 1899, it's not just a piece of firearms history, it's the benchmark by which service revolvers have been judged for over a century. Simple, sturdy, and unpretentious, the Model 10 is about as straightforward as a sidearm gets. Now in 2025, Smith & Wesson has leaned into the legacy with a reissue that's generating quiet excitement among revolver fans. These new runs ditch the internal locking mechanism, a decision that's earned nods from traditionalists, and bring back pre-war design elements like the half-moon front sight and walnut grips. It's not a full-blown retro piece, but it strikes a smart balance between classic style and shootable practicality. Under the hood, the new Model 10 keeps its familiar specs: a 4-inch pencil barrel, 6-shot cylinder, and a smooth double-action trigger that's been one of the platform's strongest features since day one. The .38 Special chambering still offers manageable recoil with decent stopping power, and while the platform isn't flashy, it remains very capable, especially for those who prefer simplicity over optics rails and red dots. Its 2025 comeback hinges on its unshakable identity. In a sea of polymer pistols and high-capacity magazines, the Model 10 offers something refreshingly straightforward. It's a no-frills tool for people who still appreciate blued steel, wood grips, and a trigger that's smoother than it needs to be. Whether for collectors, casual shooters, or anyone who just wants a revolver that's not trying to be something it isn't, the Model 10 is proving once again that good design doesn't go out of style. Number 5 is a familiar face that's been through a bit of a rough patch and came out better for it, the Marlin 336. Since 1948, this lever-action rifle has been a staple in American hunting camps, pickup truck racks, and gun cabinets across the country. Known for its smooth action and dependable performance in .30-30 Winchester or .35 Remington, the 336 earned its place the old-fashioned way. Through decades of hard use and quiet reliability, things got a little shaky for the 336 when Marlin changed hands, and quality control took a nosedive. But in 2020, Ruger stepped in, bought the brand, and started turning things around. Fast forward to 2025, and the Marlin 336 Classic is officially back, and this time, it means business. Shooters are finding better machining, tighter tolerances, and slicker actions. In fact, demand is high enough that finding one on a shelf can be as tricky as drawing a deer tag in a good unit. The modern 336 comes with a 20-inch cold hammer forged barrel, a 6+1 tubular magazine, and an overall weight that's manageable for long treks in the woods. The walnut stocks are well finished without looking too flashy, and the rifle is drilled and tapped for optics right from the factory. Functionally, it remains true to form, simple to operate, easy to maintain, and surprisingly quick on follow-up shots. What makes the 336's return notable isn't just nostalgia, it's Ruger doing right by a design that deserves it. By preserving the feel of the original while tightening up everything that needed fixing, they've managed to bring the 336 back into serious relevance. For hunters, lever-action fans, and anyone who prefers rifles that come with a bit of soul, the 336 Classic is once again earning its place in the lineup. Coming in at number 4 is the M1 Carbine, a rifle that looks like it could be mistaken for a .22, but definitely doesn't shoot like one. Originally developed during World War II as a lightweight shoulder weapon for support troops, the M1 Carbine quickly found fans well beyond the battlefield. Compact, easy to handle, and soft on recoil. It became popular with everyone from paratroopers to police departments to civilian shooters who appreciated its versatility. Its appeal hasn't faded. In 2025, The M1 Carbine is enjoying a low-key renaissance. Companies like Car Arms, Auto Ordnance, and Fulton Armory are producing new models, while surplus originals remain highly collectible. What's interesting is how the rifle has bridged the gap between historical charm and modern practicality. There are even tactical variants on the market now, complete with rails and modern stocks, that look like the M1 Carbine took a detour through a gear shop. Specs remain close to the original formula, chambered in .30 carbine, with 15 or 30-round detachable magazines, a weight just over 5 pounds, and adjustable sights. It's light, fast, and easy to shoot, which is probably why it keeps showing up in range bags even 80 years after its debut. Some newer models offer folding stocks, improved triggers, and other small upgrades that help bring it into the current shooting landscape without taking away its character. The M1 Carbine's comeback works because it never fully went away. It's still one of the most shootable rifles in its class, and its compact design has aged surprisingly well. Whether you're a collector, a history buff, or just someone who enjoys a good mid-century design that still holds up, the M1 Carbine makes a solid case for sticking around and looking good doing it. If there's a shotgun that could qualify as the Swiss Army knife of the firearms world, it's the Remington 870. Reliable, modular, and almost annoyingly adaptable. The 870 has been the go-to scattergun since it hit the scene in 1950. Whether it's riding in a squad car, propped behind a door for home defense, or out in a duck blind, the 870 just shows up and gets the job done without demanding much attention. For a while, though, it looked like the 870 was riding off into the sunset. Quality dipped, public confidence wavered, and fans of the platform began looking elsewhere. But as of 2025, the 870 is staging a comeback under new ownership with more attention to detail and a lineup that finally looks like it belongs in the current market. Machining has improved, finish quality is back to respectable levels, and new variants are catering to everyone from competitive shooters to turkey hunters. Remington has also embraced customization more than ever, with factory options for extended magazines, tactical furniture, Cerakote finishes, and even left-handed models, making it far easier to tailor an 870 to your needs. Specs are where the 870 shows its flexibility, available in 12, 20, and 410 gauge with barrel lengths ranging from 18.5 to 28 inches. Magazine capacities run from 4+1 to 7+1, and modern versions now come with better recoil pads, modular stocks, and even optics-ready receivers for those who want a red dot on their boomstick. The best part of the 870's resurgence is that it's not trying to reinvent itself. It's still the pump-action workhorse it's always been, it just cleans up better now. The platform is familiar, the controls unchanged, and the aftermarket support is as deep as ever. Whether you need a shotgun for defense, hunting, or just want something that'll eat shells all day without fuss, the Remington 870 remains a solid, almost boringly good choice. And in this case, boring is a compliment. Some guns don't just age well, they quietly skip the awkward middle years and show up decades later looking better than expected. The Ithaca Model. 37 is one of those. Originally designed in the 1930s and blessed with one of the smoothest pump actions ever built. The Model 37 has spent decades bouncing between law enforcement, military contracts, upland bird hunts, and home defense roles. It's always flown slightly under the radar, but in 2025, it's making a much louder entrance. The defining feature of the Model 37 is its bottom-ejecting design, which not only keeps hot shells from bouncing off your buddy at the range, but also makes it a dream for left-handed shooters. The gun's classic steel and walnut construction remains intact, and this year's releases from Ithaca Gun Company include some solid refinements. Improved finish quality, better stock checkering, and the addition of tactical variants show that the company hasn't forgotten about modern shooters, even if they've kept the old-school charm. It's available in a wide range of gauges, 12, 16, 20, and even 28, and comes with barrel lengths between 26 and 30 inches. Capacity options include 4+1 and 5+1, and many new versions now support optics mounting, upgraded triggers, and slick custom shop finishes. Despite the variety, every configuration keeps the unmistakable profile and slide action that gives the Model 37 its mechanical smoothness and near-legendary cycling. Its 2025 comeback isn't about chasing trends. It's about sticking to what worked, adding a bit of polish, and reminding folks that simple doesn't mean outdated. The Model 37 doesn't shout for attention. It just functions flawlessly and feels like a proper firearm in your hands. For lefties, collectors, or anyone with a taste for solid steel and walnut, this one is easy to appreciate and even easier to keep passing down. At the top of this list stands a revolver that's been as much a status symbol as it is a working firearm, the Colt Python. Known for decades as the Rolls-Royce of revolvers, the Python built its reputation on precision machining, elegant lines, and a trigger so smooth it made other revolvers feel like farm tools by comparison. It had a long reign from 1955 until its discontinuation in 2005, which turned it into the kind of collector's piece that rarely left the safe. But Colt didn't just leave it in the past. After reviving the Python in 2020, Colt has continued to refine it, and in 2025, the revolver is arguably better than ever. Improvements include stronger stainless steel, redesigned internals that address timing and wear issues, and even optics-ready variants for those who appreciate a bit of high-tech on their high-class wheelgun. It still looks like a Python, still feels like a Python, but now it's built to last with modern engineering behind it. The 2025 lineup includes barrel lengths of 3, 4.25, and 6 inches, with the same 6-round 357 Magnum chambering. Weighing in around 2.5 pounds, it's solid without being unwieldy, and features adjustable rear sights, a full lug barrel, and Altamont walnut grips that stay true to the gun's original aesthetic. The double-action pull remains remarkably smooth, while the single-action brake is crisp enough to make precision shooting feel effortless. What secures Python's place at number 1 isn't just its reputation, it's the fact that Colt actually delivered on the hype with this return. It's not a budget gun, and it doesn't pretend to be. But for those who want a revolver that feels heirloom-ready from the first shot, the Python remains unmatched. Its elegance with authority, all wrapped in brushed stainless and decades of pedigree. From lever actions that helped build the frontier to revolvers that once rode in duty holsters, these 8 firearms aren't just hanging on, they're making serious comebacks in 2025. What sets them apart isn't just nostalgia, though there's plenty of that. It's that they've been thoughtfully updated, re-engineered, or simply respected enough to stay relevant in a world obsessed with the next best thing. Whether you're drawn to the steel and walnut craftsmanship, the proven track records, or just appreciate a well-made gun that doesn't need a gimmick to impress, each one on this list brings something real to the table. Some are returning after years in the shadows. Others never really left. They just needed the right moment and the right hands to shine again. And right now, with manufacturers stepping up and shooters paying attention, that moment is here. Now it's your turn. Which of these legends have you brought home, shot at the range, or maybe still regret selling 10 years ago? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, even the spicy ones. Thanks for watching. Support your local ranges. Take a kid shooting if you can. And remember, recycling is great, but some classics are better when they're kept running, not repurposed.